Intense fighting erupts again in Gaza as Israel resumes its bombardment of suspected Hamas positions. Gaza's health ministry says at least 29 Palestinians have been killed across the Strip today. The week-long truce came to an end a few hours ago, both sides blaming each other for the breakdown in talks. A combat resumed shortly after Israel's army said it had intercepted a rocket fired from Gaza. The IDF has reportedly launched a fresh air campaign across the enclave, with airstrikes hitting both the north and the south. The Al-Quds brigades, now that's the armed wing of the Palestinian Islamic Jihad movement, said it had attacked Israeli cities and towns in response to what it called crimes against their people. Truce mediator Qatar expressed regret that fighting had resumed. It later confirmed that negotiations between Hamas and Israel are in fact continuing, with the aim of, quote, returning to a state of the pause. UN Chief Antonio Guterres has taken to social media to slam the return to military operations, adding that the renewed fighting highlights the importance of a true humanitarian ceasefire. The UN's Children's Agency also denouncing the resumption of fighting, saying that, quote, those in power have decided that the killing of children would recommence, while UNICEF spokespersons warned the attacks will only lead to carnage. And more, we're joined by Sarah Coates from Tel Aviv. Sarah, this war resuming just a day after the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken called on Israel to account for the safety of Palestinian civilians. Now, this urging, would that make any difference to what Israel will be doing today and the days to come?
Hi there, Wei-Su. Well, look, he also said Israel must concentrate its military operations in certain areas, and it appears that Israel is trying to show it is doing that. It has released a map of Gaza divided up into certain areas. The IDF says that this map is so that residents can orient themselves and also figure out where these safe zones, these safe routes are. Now, we do know that the IDF has been dropping leaflets on Khan Yunis down in the south, telling residents to move further south down to Rafah. Now, there have been airstrikes right across the Strip in the last few hours, in Khan Yunis in the south, also in the centre of the Strip and in the north inside Gaza City. Now, we did hear from the United Nations a little bit earlier. It says that now 1.8 million people have been internally displaced from their homes. That is 80% of the population. There are also many people who do remain in their homes, but many of these people, Wei-Su, say that they will not be leaving simply because there is nowhere for them to go. Now, we are also hearing reports coming in from the ground about the Rafah border crossing. This is, of course, that crossing where all of this aid has been slowly trickling through from the Egyptian side of the border. We do understand at this hour that aid trucks are now stalled at that border, a big line of them seen queuing up on the Egyptian side, and they cannot cross right now because of these airstrikes. So certainly a developing situation, a worrying situation in terms of humanitarian needs.
Sarah, even as news broke of a return to war on Gaza Strip, we were hearing sources from within Qatar suggesting that negotiations are in fact continuing to return that truce between Israel and Hamas. If that should be the case, what challenges does Qatar face at this point?
Look, Qataris have come out to say that these airstrikes are actually making it very, very difficult for any kind of dialogue to happen there. We did hear from its foreign ministry saying that it is aiming to return to this pause, this ceasefire. But look, that is yet to happen. There really is a trading of blame going on. Egyptian officials say that this fell over because there wasn't that list of captives handed over in time to Israel. Israel says that it just simply didn't get it. It also says that Hamas violated its obligation. It said it didn't release enough women and children and also fired rockets into Israel. Hamas says that it did offer captives, dead and alive, to Israel, but it rejected that. So, look, what we're seeing here is now just a resumption of these hostilities. Even before this ceasefire had finished, rockets were fired from the Gaza Strip into southern Israel. They were intercepted by the Iron Dome missile defence system. And look, these rockets keep on coming. They are now going into the south of Israel, as far up as Ashkelon. And Israel, as I mentioned, continues to bomb right across the Strip. Wei Su.
Thanks, Sarah Courts, live for us there from Tel Aviv.